This is episode 201. I used my garage as an impulse response one time.
Into the past. Into the future, if you are not aware of time.
From now until forever.
Remember, kids, of all time includes the future.
Okay. So I just heard, I got all set up. I got all set up, and then I stepped out out of the studio to get a beer. And I said, we'll start when I get back. And I came in and put my headphones on, and I heard from a reliable source that after 200 episodes, podcasts are allowed to fuck off.
Yeah, it's the rule of the law of podcasting, podcaster's law.
So I've done 200 episodes of this podcast. So
guess what, suckers?
I'm going to phone it in from here, bitches.
If you think we've been slacking off until now, wait till you see this.
Yeah. No, okay, so in seriousness, I feel like it's been a long ass time since we've done an episode of the show because we had back-to-back guests and they were great episodes, but they're not typical, and we like specifically don't just shoot the shit with each other because we have a guest on the line and like, a guest who may
not know us personally to be like, oh, I did this with my family. Like that's not something you talked with a guest about, you know?
Yeah. It would have been weird. So like, I have so much shit that has happened that there's no way I'm going to remember. There's no way I'm probably even going to dig far enough back into my past to be able to come up with everything that's happened.
Yes, into the past.
I mean, we haven't talked. I mean, Halloween came and went since we last had a regular episode.
Right.
And I have a little kid, so that's the thing.
Oh, yes. Good detail.
So, right. You were like, yep, okay, Halloween, whatever, buddy.
I understood. I'm glad you clarified for the listener at home.
Yes. I just now realized that I did not play the theme music and I did not show the starting screen or anything. We're off to a banging start with this around thing.
It's episode 201. You know what that means. Podcaster's law dictates we're now allowed to slack off.
We're now allowed to slack right off. Yeah. I'm actually turning my soundboard on right now.
Part of it was
the question is where should I begin?
You came back. We had to capture all of this pure, solid gold.
That's right, too. I pushed the button very fast.
Pure, uncut entertainment.
That's right. So now I've kind of lost my train of thought here.
We were talking about Halloween briefly and all the other happenings in between 198 and 201.
Well, because it's been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Since we kind of did this.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
See, that's the thing. I don't even know because it's been so long. I was just thinking, so I had to stay off because it's Veterans Day. And this is like the first day in many years I've podcasted when I didn't also have to work. So I was all day like, I'm gonna forget to do the show. And because it was real, and I have tomorrow off too. I just took an extra day, so I have a long weekend, and I was like, big Saturday vibes for me. Like,
yeah,
I was pretty prepared to forget this, but we persevered. I made it on time.
That's not the first time that you've said something to me like, I thought I was going to forget the podcast today. At like 7 or something, because I hadn't done any setup, like there's all the crazy shit that my day was ridiculous and my head feels like it's melted. But I was like, at 7, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pop into Tone Control Discord and make some remark that makes it clear that an episode is happening, just in case.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, hey, Derek, you're not forgetting, are you?
No, it's on my calendar. Hey. You know, it's we got the podcast on a recurring event on the calendar. I'm going to remember. Yeah. But also, I could have easily forgotten. And I'm glad I didn't because, you know, I've been looking forward to this. I have been looking forward to the regular episode.
Right.
And the guests are great, like you said, but it is kind of like, It disrupts a lot with the show, not in a bad way at all. Like disruption is not always negative. And it was fun and awesome. And the episode with Doug was great. The episode with Alex was great as usual.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh yeah, what do we do again? And you'll notice in the show notes, there's basically nothing because it was crazy.
We're going to waste all our time just talking about our lives.
I wanted to account for that. And I just, you know, putting together like the 200 thing was just a lot. And I wanted a break.
So, all right, should we do this chronological?
Yeah, why not?
Or should we should we do these updates here at the top?
Oh, sure.
Okay, let me do this then. Let me play. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't make sure that Discord. Whoa, I just muted myself. I didn't make sure.
What a time!
I didn't make sure that Discord could hear the robot voice. So let me do the thing that I typically have to do to make it work.
Thanks to Pedal Genie for sponsoring the tone control. Visit
I heard it.
and start your wish list today.
It's super quiet though, right?
Yeah.
You know what that is? I can do that.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, there we go. It's the volume of the volume of the thing.
Of course.
All right, play it again.
Thanks to Pedal Genie for sponsoring the tone control. Visit pedalgenie.com and start your wish list today.
Do you guys want me to tell you about how janky this whole thing is? Like, I don't have one of these like TriCasters. I'm not like, I don't have a big multi-input video switcher. This is all happening on my MacBook. And I have a weird program that I can like load sounds into and it will play them. And I'm telling it to play them out of the headphone port on my computer, which is going through a direct box into a mic preamp. And that's being recorded back in and being sent to Discord and to the video recording. Okay. So when I'm not doing this in the meantime, my headphone level has to be like something that doesn't blow your ears off.
Yeah.
And then I have to sit down here and remember to turn the headphone volume on the headphone output up before I.
So just, a peek behind the curtain, I guess. The very, very thin curtain that is this podcast. Yep.
Very much.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let's start right up here at the top. Update. Episode 200 is up.
Yeah.
If you
obviously,
missed
this is 201 if you're like if you're not aware of time. This is 201.
If you're not aware of the linear progression of time and numbers. 201 comes right after 200, which means episode 200 is right below this in your podcast feed. And it was a fantastic episode, and you should go listen. Also, I'm just going to reiterate my apology for losing part of it. He was so nice and so much fun, and unfortunately, there's like 25 more minutes of it that only the people who were present on the day got to hear.
Yeah.
Which I feel super bad about. Doug talked a lot about the charity stuff in that segment.
Yeah.
There was like a little bit of other things, and then we kind of the whole section about all the charity stuff that's gone on his Instagram.
We can like sort of recap just the logistics of what they're doing, I guess. So if you're not familiar, Doug Gower from Gower Guitars, like you said, was on 200, and follow them on Instagram because they're a great follow for guitar building and stuff. And he demonstrates a lot of like luthier stuff as well as just really awesome finished guitars that are going out the door. So as things kind of, progress in the world and some bad things happen occasionally, they've been holding these, fundraisers, right? Or they've been sort of piggybacking on existing fundraisers. And what they've done is donate X dollars to X cause, to Y cause, and send us your receipt and we will send you a guitar. And sometimes it's been either dealer's choice.
X dollars is quite a bit.
Oh yeah. It's the original ones were like donate $2,000 to this cause and send us your receipt. there's 10 spots available. And,
Yeah.
and then they raised a gajillion dollars. It was great. Then they did another thing shortly thereafter, which was donate any amount in $20 increments and send us your receipts for that. Every $20 is a raffle entry for a build. And so they've been doing that. They've raised a ton of money. I unfortunately can't remember what he said they've raised so far, but that's mostly what we were talking about.
One of them was over $40,000.
Yeah.
I know that. I do remember that number.
Yeah. It's awesome. Such a great use of the platform too. Of the audience, I should say, a great use of Instagram and a great use of the popularity of one's brand. I love it. So,
and the empowerment feeling of the people who are participating too.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between caring about something and donating money to it. Sometimes it's but what is a small amount of money going to do?
Yeah.
Whereas actually, not only is this a chance to win something really cool, but it also means I know for a fact that there are hundreds and hundreds of other people matching me on this. Yeah. And that makes a big difference. And that makes people feel really good about the small amount of money that they can put up.
And he mentioned it's not getting stuck in some kind of system. And it's also not like for every guitar sold, we're donating 10%. Yeah. It's nothing like that. And it's not like the money goes to Gower and then they donate it on behalf of, the money comes from my wallet to the donation. And then I send Gower the receipt for that. And they say here's my ticket. This is my purchase. And they honor that. So they're not doing it for everything, of course. And he mentioned that they're, the process for deciding how to run all that stuff is tricky and complicated, which of course it must be. So, but anyway, it was a great conversation. I'm really sorry y'all missed it if you weren't in the server that night, but we'll get Doug on again sometime and we'll cover that as well. So yeah, follow them on Instagram. 'Cause just the most bitchin' guitars in your feeds. Right? Who doesn't want bitchin' guitars in their feeds,
Who doesn't? Yeah. And if you don't want bitchin' guitars in your feeds,
you're in the wrong place.
Well, no, you're in the right place. I promise no guitars tonight. You found it.
Yeah.
Just fucking around only.
So yeah, Doug was a gentleman and a great guest.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Doug, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. Did you almost
Thanks for having us. Yeah. Goodness. So the next thing, Tone Control episode 200 care packages are going out. They are all sealed up as of this afternoon, actually.
Ooh.
We got them all addressed and packed up and sealed up, and they're in a box downstairs in my dining room. And tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Friday the 12th, I'm planning to hit the post office, and they'll be heading out. So we're going to go
all your stickers will be stuck, and all your strings will be plucked, and all your beers will be cold.
Yeah. And yeah. So
and
I need to.
What do they have? What do they win? What's in the care package, Derek?
It's all down in
it's all down
the other room.
Oh, well, in that case.
And I used up all the stickers too. So I've got a pick though. They got Tone Control picks.
I got some stuff. I don't have any of the koozies yet.
We got stickers and
koozies.
Yeah. So stickers, picks, and koozies are coming to you.
Focus on this camera.
Fine supporters of the podcast. If what do we want to call it? Like an episode 200 bundle. If that is something that you want in your life and want to purchase, shoot us a message, and we'll hook you up with something. We'll figure all that out too.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on an adventure, all of us, like the Tone Control universe, in postage, right? So we don't know what this is going to end up being or how long it's going to take, but
yeah,
I assure you they will be in the mail soon.
Yeah, we're not like spending a bunch of money on faith. We really kind of mathed out just about the cheapest way we could do this because we're trying to save money for the actual things that we get to send you.
Let's pull this curtain back some more. Speaking of Patreon, I've some other podcasts I listen to, they're always talking about their Patreons and such. Ours is among the most affordable Patreons that I hear about, which I think is great. I want to keep that. I was curious. We do have a handful of people
we're worthless.
I think you mean priceless.
Yes, that was the one.
It's $1 or $2 a month, and the nice thing about Patreon is you can overpay if you want. So we do have some very generous folks paying like $5 a month, even $10 a month, which is awesome and so just the greatest feeling. But we don't have other tiers set up for that. So if you are paying $2 or more, you get the same thing as you would if it was only $2. So I'm curious, listener, if you are one that overpays, or if you are like thinking of joining the Patreon, if there was a higher tier,
what else would you pay for?
Right. Like, what else would you want from us? You know, because I don't want to just say, like, here's a $5 tier and you don't get anything else. That's obviously shitty. Right. It's not just like, you know, because you're feeling generous, that's fine. But you can do that now. You know, like the system allows for that. So I'm curious what people would be into.
We
not that we have loads of time to do other stuff.
No, but we I don't always know what's going to be valuable to people from this, because we actually did this show for a long time without having a Patreon, which is obviously stupid. But
we'd be rich by now.
Well, coffee cake.
Yeah, a coffee cake at Christmas time. Yeah, I mean, it would be like a $20 tier. Send a coffee cake. Also, just I guess shout out for people who don't know, you can modify your Patreon membership monthly, right? So if you want to donate a little more money for a couple of months or something, you can do that and then roll it back. Totally fine. Mm-hmm. We get notifications about people updating their pledges, which is always such an exciting day. I love that email. So, yeah, whatever works. Yeah. I'm just curious what people might be into.
Yeah, I like that. Source the ideas.
Yeah. Listen, for $1,000 a month, Justin will mix your record.
I will do that. I will do a really good job.
So I started listening to this podcast. It's called the Tony and Ryan podcast, and they're from Australia. It's very funny. It's just sort of a comedy chat show, and it's very clever. So they started a Patreon, and one of their tiers is $1,000 a month, and it includes one of them will officiate your wedding, or be an MC of an event that you're doing, and someone's doing it. Someone paid for it, and next October, about a year from now, they're flying to the U.S. and officiating a wedding in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it just got me thinking, like, I'm not going to go officiate some tone controller's wedding or anything, but you know, I mean, if you pay me $1,000 a month.
That's not on my list of things to do, but
it's not on my list of things to not do.
Yeah, either. if you've got some money burning a hole in your pocket and that is fun for you, let's talk.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all. Care packages are going out, and like I said, if you want one and you're not a Patreon member, that's fine. Just send us a message and we'll figure out how to get you one. Yeah. Cool.
And at this, I think we talk offline about like if somebody became a Patreon subscriber today, they're not on this list, but Patreon gives us like your 1 year or something like that.
Patreon, right? So yeah, when you join,
it does do like it's like so and so's 1 year anniversary or something.
I don't think we've gotten any. No, we haven't gotten that. Not. We can see how much someone has donated in total over their subscription lifetime, which is unbelievable. We've got a few people that have pledged over $100 so far, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is
you'll
eventually earn it. I don't know if we'll get an alert. We may have to pay attention, or you may have to say something to us, but you'll earn at least a care package anyway.
And also like it's when you join and stuff, it doesn't bill you right away, and so I'm not going to be a stickler about that. Like obviously, if you join and you get into the server and you hang out in the live chat and it doesn't bill you for 3 more weeks, like it's cool. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, okay.
What's next? All right. Can I tell a story now? I'm going to try to break this up so it isn't just constantly Justin doing his nonsense. Okay. So on Halloween, my daughter is 6 this year, by the way, and she wanted to be a marine biologist, which is normal for her. Everyone kind of gives me a funny look sometimes about that. But anyway, that's normal for her. She wanted to be a marine biologist. So my wife got her a lab coat with her name embroidered on it. It says Dr. Aria Newton, marine biologist. And that was pretty great. And she was going to give her like goggles and like flippers and maybe like an air tank or something.
Oh, cool. Like a scuba tank. Well, yeah.
Yeah, a scuba tank. And I thought, that's stupid. Why would she have a lab coat and a scuba tank on? That's moronic. No.
One does not wear a lab coat while scuba diving.
One does not simply wear a lab coat while scuba diving. So I made her a submarine where I feel like she could wear a lab coat out of cardboard. So the whole thing was, did I share pictures of this in Discord?
You shared it with me, and I was going to ask if you wanted to put them in Discord.
Yeah, I should.
We have them in our group chat.
Well, I can't because my phone's my camera.
Okay, I'll do it.
If you have them, then yeah, by all means. So I made her a submarine out of cardboard boxes, and I like built this rigid frame out of them, and I got nylon bolts and nuts and stuff to hold it together, and I did. I'm gonna put this up on the thing too. Kiddo.
So fun.
Yeah. So I did. This is her and her friend getting ready to go trick or treating. We taped her marine themed stuffies to it. And I put bottles on the side. And I painted everything, and it has a racing stripe. And she picked the color, by the way.
It's a great color. The whole scheme is awesome.
The whole scheme's pretty good.
Yeah.
So she's obviously thrilled.
Yeah.
But
she looks it.
And the shoulder straps. Oh, she has a little cardboard controls in the front that are just dummy. They don't really do anything. Yeah. But anyway, there's a prop on the back that I took out of a box fan and put on there. But the whole thing is so heavy, it almost tips. She has to balance it so hard. The shoulder straps are actually guitar straps from the Guitar Hero video game controllers.
Oh, yeah.
That I still had in the basement. Because they're sort of like small, like guitar straps. They're sort of like smaller than normal.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah, there you can see the back of it here. So anyway, that's their parade at school.
I love how it's like in the parade pic, right? There's all these kids in like their costumes. They're just like a singular. It's just their person. And here comes Arya with this like mechazoid
giant thing. All the kids are like a witch or a ninja or a stormtrooper.
Or a pirate. Yeah. And here's Arya, marine biologist.
Marine biologist. So, and then the other saga of this is I was like sort of planning. I don't really take the time to prototype these things, right? So like it ends up being much too heavy, but I can't do anything about it because I like built this over the course of a week, just sort of picking away at it, get an idea, go, oh, I could do it this way. And I got this special tape that you can only get from U-Haul stores, by the way, and it's packing tape, but it's got like a brown paper backing.
Oh yeah, and does it have like the thread in it? That like
no, it doesn't have the thread. It's like lightweight. It's not like high strength or anything. It's easy to tear, like much easier than duct tape or packing tape. You can do it with your fingers. It sticks like really well. It's not like super strong, but it's well enough to hold a box together, you know? But I used all that so that I could paint over it because I know it wasn't the paint wasn't going to stick to other kinds of tape and stuff. So this way I can tape over, and I actually taped over a bunch of the clear packing tape that was already on these boxes to get the paint to stick.
Good idea.
Anyway, so I get it all on her. She can barely hold the thing, and so this picture is from the parade they have at school. But that's the thing. See, I thought I had like 3 more days to keep working on this and maybe lighten it, but I had to like throw this all together with whatever the design was at the time on Thursday because on Friday she needs to march at school at the Halloween parade.
That's awesome. It's so good.
So anyway, so when they're trick or treating,
absolutely elated in this photo.
She made it like around 1 block, and then she was like, "Oh, it's too heavy," and I had to like carry it back to her friend's house, and then catch back up with them while she just marched around with her lab coat. But anyway, still exactly
excellent.
So that was my Halloween week. Was like, what? I have to have this tomorrow.
Yeah,
insanity.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, I was
awesome. It came out great.
I still have it. It's downstairs. She hasn't played with it. That shouldn't surprise anybody.
The traits of a 6-year-old.
She also said to me, so we're driving back from something. She's coming home from school, and I was like, I need you to try on your costume because you have to wear it tomorrow, and I need to know if I need to make adjustments, which I totally did. I had to totally redo the way the straps were attached because it was like falling over backwards, and I had to rebalance the whole thing. Basically, I had to add more weight to the headstock, you know. So, so she's like, Daddy, I think next year I want to be a witch. And I was like, yes.
Let's do that.
Can do.
Good choice.
Pencil that in.
Yeah. A classic choice, but also an easy choice.
Yes, exactly. I have a hat upstairs. Done.
Boom. Wonderful. What did we do on Halloween?
Did you guys have Halloween? Did you guys have people come?
We didn't host anything. We didn't turn our light on this year, so we didn't do trick-or-treating. Partly just because it's rather COVID-y here. And just in case, you know, sort of didn't want to do the whole thing. But typically we would, because we live in a very trick-or-treat friendly neighborhood. I do feel a little bad for not participating. But
You're not on like a main through street or anything.
Right. Our neighborhood is just all like cul-de-sacs and back roads and stuff, and it's perfect for trick-or-treating. We always run out of candy. We always have hundreds of kids come through. It's pretty amazing. And when it's normal times, it's really nice because we don't even come back in the house. We just sit on the front porch. And we play spooky music on a Bluetooth speaker and just sit out there and, hey, you know, like they just stand in line basically. There's so many of them.
Oh my God.
It's it was great. Since the pandemic, of course, trick-or-treating has been pretty weak, I guess. We're certainly not the only people not doing it. But the first few years we lived here, it was like, we need 10 times as much candy next year.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people like it was actually rather weak this year. So we were at my daughter's friend's house. They have kind of a better neighborhood. Our neighborhood is good. It's just very small.
It's short, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a short little like 2 cul-de-sacs. Sorry, that was wrong. Cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac. Ugh, Justin.
I know.
Attorneys general, yes.
So
tones control.
So we went to a different neighborhood, but they're in that zone where you have to buy bags and bags of it, and even then, sometimes they're running to the store halfway through the night. So, which I would never do. Like so many of our friends around, they're like, "Oh yeah, we often have to do a store run in the middle of the night."
Ooh,
I'd be like,
"I would just turn the light off."
What you mean is you had to turn that light off.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think next year I'm hoping to do it again because sometimes we'll have like some friends over, have a beer on the porch, and just like, you know, the whole town comes through basically. So we'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. What else happened?
Fucking A, man. I need to look at my calendar.
I know. So my birthday was the day after we recorded 200.
Yeah.
I got these, we didn't talk about it on the show. I got these amazing headphones from my wife as a birthday gift. She let me use them. She gave them to me a day early to use on the recording. These are Audio-Technica
AT50s?
Yes. M50X.
M50X?
I don't know
whatever they call
that means. Yeah, but it's
They're
cool.
The ones.
It's great. It came with a nice, I don't know if you can see this, coily cable. And,
see, I don't like those. So this.
I'm trying to decide here. It came with 3 cables.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
and
really
they're
nice.
Detachable at the ear, of course.
Yeah.
So I've got a short one here, which I thought might be too short for right here. It's more like the perfect length from your head to your pocket for your phone. It came with one very long one that's probably, it must be like 6 feet, 8 feet maybe.
I bet it's 3 meters.
Yeah, probably. So which is great for using with the Helix or stuff like that. So because it's on the floor. And then this coily one, and I've been leaving the coily one here on my desk, but it's great. I sound a lot different to myself here recording.
Louder?
But deeper, like the EQ is so different, but it's mostly because these are far more isolating on my head. I was getting a lot more room sound from my old headphones because they were just sort of on ear, not over the ear.
Sure.
But they sound awesome. I've been wearing them a lot. They're super comfortable. They fold up. They have a bag. It's the way to be. Get yourself some nice headphones, folks.
Yeah, I don't. I've had these for like going on 20 years now. And they always have a curly cable. The problem I have with it is it's kind of heavy. And if you use it for the length that it's capable of by stretching it out, you end up with this tension on it.
It's like pulling on,
Right, which isn't great. And it's like you feel the weight of it and stuff like that. And then when you're not using it, it can be okay. But then like I have to sort of lay the cable on my lap and then it routinely slips off because of its own weight and stuff like that. So there's one place where I know you can get a replacement cable for these headphones, but you do have to open it up and solder it. Right, because it doesn't have the detachable feature. So I keep like going, next
the detachable thing is nice. Even just for storage and stuff, just having it.
It's the way of the future.
It's way of the future.
It's undeniable.
They do make a Bluetooth.
It has a twist lock, right?
Yeah, it's like a quarter turn thing. They do make a Bluetooth variant of these as well.
No,
I know. I'm just saying.
If you
like
get
for
Bluetooth
your casual listening,
they should be like earbuds or something where you're like under your hat or some shit like that.
I think. They must still have a cable, I assume, but whatever. Anyway,
is it one of those where there's a cable between the two? That's such a stopgap. It's such a like a
no. They look
step.
exactly like this. They just have Bluetooth connectivity. But anyway, whatever. They're great headphones. I like them a lot. They're comfortable. I like wearing them. So like the kind of thing where even
you
if
look marvelous.
Thanks. Even when my album for the day or for whatever, not the day, but what I'm listening to finishes, I just leave them on, even though nothing is playing.
I'm picturing you've got like a
the album of the day is just 45 minutes.
It's my album. It's all I'm allowed for the.
It's all I'm allowed.
That's my. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It's not allotment, but like
allowance.
Your allowance, yeah. Your album allowance for the day. It's complete. Oh shoot! I guess I better fold these suckers up.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. I leave them on, even though nothing is playing, just because they're kind of
awesome.
They're comfortable, and also like if I'm focused at work and stuff, this only happens at work. But like if I'm kind of in something, I might not just immediately jump to putting some other music on, just because it eliminates a sense for me that allows me to focus more. My other senses become heightened, such as writing email.
Your email sense, yeah.
My email sense is
That's
tingling.
The 8th or 9th sense. I forget which number it is in the list, but it's in there.
Yeah, it's right after a sense of time and frustration.
Yeah, and it's right before fart sense. That's when how you tell whether it's a fart or a poop.
Never gamble on a fart.
Very important sense. You get a stroke in the wrong place and you don't have that sense anymore, your life is over.
Oh my! All right, should we keep this show going? I guess
we should. Do you want to hit this, or do you want another random life story?
No, let's hit this because this is a little bit of a life story, I guess.
Okay,
a little bit of
a slightly guitar related.
Yeah, it's a life update. No bumps today either. I noticed.
Do you want me to play a bump? Here's
Why
a
not?
bump.
You got one? You got one?
Yeah, I got a bump. Here we go.
Some fucking reverb. Oh, the Meteor.
The Meteor from Caroline Guitar Company.
They're good. They do good. They do good work. Anyway, yeah. Last episode, I knew this was happening, but we didn't talk about it because it was one of those things that we didn't want to bring up with a guest. My band Delaney is.
Hey, guest, what do you think about this?
What do you think about this thing you've never heard about? My
like
band,
we're famous people or something,
right? I know, famous podcasters in this circle. Anyway, my band Delaney is breaking up. Yeah. Shrug. Meh. I don't. So it's sort of a mixed bag, I guess. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. It's fine. Truly. When we had like 2 shows this year. Mm-hmm. One of the guys had mentioned at one point, like, what if we made the one in October, which was at the barn, the DIY one? What if that was our last show? And we were all like, what? No. Well, like it's sort of.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about this now.
Yeah, and it all sort of like planted that seed of like, okay, well, the one guy who started the band like as his project and stuff mentioned that, it's like, okay, then that's a little more real.
It was his idea.
It started out that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And for a number of reasons. Just that one is that the pandemic has been exhausting and difficult, to say the least, for local music.
Yeah.
And it's the music scene in general is just not what it used to be. So it's very hard to be in a band in this environment, for one. Mm-hmm. Two, we've all got a bunch of stuff going on. So basically for all of 2020, like most of the bands, we stopped doing stuff because there was nothing to be done. In that time, everybody sort of picked up with other things, right? So
sure.
Kurt, our drummer, got very busy at work. He like moved and I don't know, I think he got a new job and it's crazy. It's good, but it's like really hectic. I've got grad school. Andy, our bass player, is in another band that's taken off and doing really cool stuff. It's a cover band, but they're like just flat out, right? They're booked and it's good. And Matt had a baby who's now like 7 or 8 weeks old. So it's just everybody's sort of being pulled in other directions and we all recognize it. And the band has become the thing that's like, still enjoy it, right? Still a lot of fun. It's just, it's when you can't dedicate like the minimum amount of time to it, that's when it suddenly becomes even more work, you know?
You're like below the time that you can comfortably dedicate to it is below what it would take for it to keep self-sustainable.
There's a self-sustainability like threshold with bands that is very desirable, right? Like you really want to hit that margin. But with taking basically a 12-month hiatus and then life happening in between. So anyway, it's just the thing I've been telling people is it's just getting away from us. And I think that's kind of the best way to put it. Nobody's like mad at each other. There's been some like bickering and stuff, which has led to like, do we want to keep doing this sorts of thoughts? But it's not like catastrophic, you know, it's not creative differences. It's not that kind of thing. Yeah. But it's just sort of like, well, maybe it is time. Like what if let's all think about what if we decided it was time and came to the conclusion that like, actually, yeah, maybe it is. So after the barn show, we said, we'll just sort of maybe stay quiet for a while and see how this goes. And then like 2 days later, somebody sends us an email with an invite for a show. And so
the moment of truth.
Right. And of course it's like an awesome lineup. It's a bunch of bands that we've played with before who are good friends and like great music, cool venue. Like it's, God damn it, you know? So we said to the guys, like, what do you guys think? Do you want to do this? If any one of us doesn't want to do it, we'll just say no thanks. But what if it was our last show? Like, what if this is the first, like we've all been sort of talking to each other about it individually, but not as a group. And like in, secret DMs and blah, blah, blah. So we're all on the same page, but we didn't know each other were on the same page, even though we all technically knew. And so everyone was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Right. And we'll do this show. It'll be sort of going out on our terms and we'll just sell all the merch. We'll spend all the band money on something and
there you go.
And it'll be over. So that show is on the 20th. If you're in New England and want to go, you do need to buy a ticket. There's an Eventbrite link in our socials and stuff. I think you can buy it at the door too, but it's cheaper to buy it ahead of time. Yeah. Some bands, Sleep Spirit and Everway, are playing. The other two bands I can never remember the name of, and I feel the other two bands I can't remember the name of, and I feel bad about, but I haven't played with them before. So, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's at Jewel in Manchester, which is the only place in Manchester that is a venue first. Every other place is a bar or restaurant first with a stage and stuff. Jewel is a proper venue. It's a little bit weird. I'll be honest, it's a little divey, but it has the biggest friggin' stage in town and great lights. Great sound, big space. So yeah, if you want to see us, this is your last chance.
Dancer,
right. Yes.
I looked it up.
Thank you. I think there's 5
Sleep
bands.
Spirit, Everway, and Dancer.
Is there only 4? I thought there were 5.
Well,
maybe not.
I
don't know. I'll be honest
with
you.
Facebook posts.
I have not been paying attention very much because it's like, I'm going to do the show, right? There's going to be a good draw. I'm not worried about that. But
you guys, look at this sexy picture of Derek.
Look at Matt with his COVID hair. That was the barn show.
Yep.
Yeah. So, kind of a bummer, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if there's rose-colored glasses, Eric says. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to feel nostalgic for this kind of stuff, but I partly agree that nostalgia is can be a very toxic emotion. So let's not forget all the garbage that comes along with stuff when you're being nostalgic.
I think that's a very interesting thing to say. Like that, like just culturally, that comes up all the time. Like there are so many things that I could feel nostalgia about, and I see other people feeling it to a toxic degree, and it making them upset about something. And it's like that's it. It's actually not hard to tell. Are you doing this wrong? Like, are you feeling upset about something? Because you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Nobody, like whatever's going on, like that's a nostalgic thought. If it's making you sad, you don't have to feel that way. You could actually just feel happy for the thing. It's really all going on inside of you. So
right. But I'm saying like nostalgia it's so easy to go like, oh, the band was so great. Like it was so fun and it was so effortless. Not true. No, definitely not. Like it's very easy to look back and forget the bullshit.
Forget all the stuff that was tough.
Yeah, because you want to forget the stuff that was tough, right? So looking back and reminiscing is one thing. Yeah, but I think one needs to be careful to also acknowledge why it's not a thing anymore, right? Band broke up for a reason.
Well, there's a great record still there.
Oh yeah,
like still exists, it'll be,
yeah, it's all around. Yeah. So anyway, as a result, partly as a result, I'm thinking about selling some gear. Right. I'm on the list to get a
Don't
Novo.
ask me.
Right. I'm on the list for a Novo, which will be ready in like the spring or summer. At the time when I was like committing to that and putting money away.
Yeah.
I did some math and like figured out the timeline. I was like, oh, if I keep saving X dollars per month at this rate, I will have a surplus of this amount by the time the guitar is ready. And I thought, well, that's cool. Like I can either just stop saving and have exactly what I need for the guitar and not worry about it, or I can keep saving because it's not too difficult, putting away just like $50 to $100 here and there, but over many, many months. And it adds up pretty quick. So I was like, maybe I'll get a new amp with that as well. New guitar, new amp, new me, right? I'll be done with grad school and it'll be just sort of like this will be fun. But with Delaney wrapping up, and honestly, even in the last, 6 months, having not used my Vox AC30 in kind of a while.
Thanks a lot, Helix.
Thanks a lot, Helix. Yeah. I'm thinking about selling it because it is overkill, right? It's a good amp. It's a great amp, but it's really loud and it's really heavy and it's just so much amp, and if I'm not going to be in a band anymore, what I'm having this like identity crisis issue of like, what good is it doing sitting in my basement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll plug it in.
It's like you're sort of on the one hand between like, it's a cool thing to have.
Oh, it's a cool thing.
But if you're not going to use it, like, are you depriving someone else? Sort of. Yeah. That's a thought. And it's like, let's be clear. It's not a vintage AC30. There's nothing special about it. It's the one you could go buy today at Guitar Center. I don't know. That guy from Delaney used it for a while. Frig, right? So I wonder if he signed it anywhere. It's the sound of me scratching my beard. I'm going to sign the inside of the chassis. But like I also think amps like that, they need to be kind of loud enough for them to really do their work, but that's louder than I can realistically be at home most of the time. It doesn't have one of those switches. No, it does not. So, and also Helix, right? Like, so for live, I've been using that because of the in-ears and the monitoring and the tracks and all that stuff. So like that's a no-brainer solution. So live it's like out of the equation, and at home it's a behemoth of an amp for home. So anyway,
I've been thinking about the Rev D20 which was originally like on my list as like, maybe when I get a new amp, maybe it'll be the Rev D20. And now I'm thinking like, well, I could sell the AC30 to get a major part of the way to funding that thing.
Right.
So this is the one bit of gear we can talk about, I guess.
So the Rev D20.
Rev amp's made in Canada, and it is a small little lunchbox amp that has a 2-notes torpedo load box built in.
Yeah, so I remember this coming along on when it was like a new item onto our gear news, right?
Yes. So it's like a 6V6, 6L6, I can't remember. Tube amp, proper tube amp.
Can't see there.
And it's in there somewhere. It's probably one of those like giant bullets.
It's gonna be one of these little things.
Yeah. So it's
6V6.
6V6. So it's and it's really designed to
10
be
to 15 watt kind of job.
It's a 20 watt, the D20.
20. Oh, well, they're doing a good job with their 6V6s to get 20 watts out of them.
20 watts, but it's got a power scaling down to 4. Love that.
Yep.
It's got a headphone out, right? It's got a pull, like a push-pull pot for a boost, a built-in boost. And then it's got the 2-notes tech built right in. So it's got 6 virtual cabinets on a rotary encoder on the front, and it's got an XLR out on the back, USB on the back, and so you can go direct with this amp.
And that's a load box, right?
Yeah.
So you could, so like you could totally headphone with this amp if you wanted
Totally.
to. Yeah.
Totally could. And so I was thinking this thing plus a 112 would be like a pretty sweet setup.
Yeah, and I mean, look, 4 watts can be louder than is comfortable in a room with other people. Like unless you're the only thing going on, you know what I mean? Like it's not like super loud, but you could definitely disturb people with 4 watts.
Totally.
If you wanted to.
And so like that's the thing though. And I like the size is nice. Like it's small enough that I could like I don't
you keep your bowling balls in there.
It goes in the gym bag. Yeah, but like the AC30 sounds awesome, but I can't bring that thing up 2 flights of stairs to record here in the office, you know?
Yeah.
It's too, that I would die. So like this thing feels like it could fit on my keychain more or less. And, and I could plunk it down on my desk and go straight into my interface using the 2-notes.
Yeah.
And still getting the tube saturation and the
Would
tube.
you do that though? Because you have helixes. Isn't this for plugging in when you want to have a speaker?
It's for all of the above, right? Like it's for whatever, I think. And I just love that adaptability, that hybrid idea of it. Because I looked at a bunch of other traditional tube amps and it still felt like it's just going to sit in the basement when most of my playing is sort of in this environment, in front of this computer, for the podcast, for tracking, for whatever. I like this bridges a gap that is very appealing. So
okay, so I want to dig into that gap a little bit, because from my perspective, I'm thinking, isn't like the HX Stomp already at that desk? And so like,
yeah, I mean not always, but yeah.
So, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't reach for this instead. But I want to understand, like,
I know.
Is it a simplicity? What comes to mind is there's a simplicity to going, well, actually, I'm just going to turn on an amp. And then I'm not going to think about, well, which preset do I use or any of that crap.
Yeah, it's some stupid lizard brain state of mind stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's valid. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah, and I think it would be like
it's
if
okay
I get
to still want an amp.
Right, and that's the thing. Like if I do want to play with some other people, yes, I can do the Helix thing, and yes, I can bring the FRFR cab, and that's all great. Mm-hmm. But it's just I don't know. It's options, I guess. It's the tonal variation of it all. It's the 2-notes stuff. I think is awesome. And it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
I can't really put my finger on it, and I know that like that's the thing that I can make fun of myself about this because I totally get it. Yeah. Both my Helix products are on the floor right here. So right.
So
yeah, but it's like you said, it's partly the what preset am I going to use? Am I going to build a new sound for this today, or am I just going to plug in and play for a little while after work? Am I going to
and not worry about what it you know?
Yeah, and like if I had a 112, that would probably still hang out in the basement, and I could just put the amp here on my desk if I wanted to track with it for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know it's kind of redundant, but I think if I don't have the AC30, right, I will not have a tube amp in the house.
Right.
So I don't think I want to be there yet. I'm probably going to sell that too, right? It's a micro terror, not even the tiny terror.
It's not even tiny.
But I was probably going to sell that too, get another $100 or so towards this thing. And I just think it's just a fucking cool piece of gear. So, and on this order of like new guitar, new amp, new me.
It's your makeover.
So anyway, Eric's asking, 2 notes, cab sims? Yes. So the 2 notes tech is a impulse response thing. It's also the load box in the amp, so you can run it without a speaker cab connected safely.
Yeah, they're pioneers in that whole load boxing simulating market, and so they're digital controlled cab sims too. It's not there are very good but simplistic ones on like the some other equipment that like the dark glass stuff. Yeah. They have like a couple of things and a couple of the Effectrode Blackbird has some cab sim stuff in it, but it's purely electronic. It's done with components at specific values to sort of create an EQ curve. And it's not really the same thing. Whereas this is like a true impulse response on a digital system.
At a software level.
Software controllable. That's what I mean. So.
Is it redundant? Yeah, it's redundant, I guess. But I also still like a decent amount of my guitar playing is still just like by myself down in the basement with some amps and speakers and pedals and stuff. So I'm not always exclusively going like Helix or die, because that's not what I'm about. It's just like the Helix thing came along because, one, I found a great deal, right? It was a good time to buy for like personally. It's a great solution for me live, which is like that. And now that's ending. So like, there's just a lot of things like kind of rolling in. So anyway.
Goonies never say die.
Yeah, it's just nice to have a tube amp. Totally agree. Justin's got 2 over his shoulder.
Yeah. Those like almost never get played.
Right, but you kind of want to have them.
There. Like they're just going to stay there. I've played drums. I've played a drum mix out through this and recorded it through my garage. I used my garage as an impulse response on drums one time.
I'm gonna write that down.
It was sort of cool. It was kind of a cool thing. Although the trouble is, what I really would need is like a PA speaker. Because the guitar speaker sounds so wrong on anything besides guitars. Like guitar speakers are EQ'd so weird.
They are, yeah.
They have like massive, like upper mid-range bumps, nothing over 4 kilohertz practically, and then like all this weird wobbly crap that goes on below them, and the resonance is like in a super wrong place for listening to full frequency sound. 75 hertz, like what is that? What is that? I mean, that's the resonance of most 12-inch speakers. So
anyway, I know that like, in the gear collection and gear redundancy question, like, do I feel guilty about it? I guess a little, but also I like gear. So like, just let me live my life. Right.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
The pie slice of the listeners of this program who are going to be on you about liking gear. It's pretty thin.
Right. I just think the D20 seems like I like the hybrid thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. Gear's fun. Hey guys, gear's fun.
Hey, guess what?
Hey, friggin' guitar amps, am I right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, I want to tell you why my brain's mush.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is audio related. It's not super guitar related, but this week was when my Pro Tools is the software that I work on almost all the time. Although I've started to branch out into a couple of other things. I'm starting to do more video things like this, and I don't know. I guess maybe I'll figure out video at some point. But But like I do a few things in a couple of other apps because Pro Tools is a little finicky. It honestly, like every day I have to open audio files in something else and convert them because Pro Tools can't read it. And it's not because it's a weird audio file like an OGG Vorbis file or something. It's because it's an AIF, but it's the wrong AIF. Like at some point, Pro
I didn't
Tools
know an AIF could be wrong, but okay.
No, well, apparently there's different types, and I've had somebody send me a file that they exported as an AIF file, which is the same as WAV with a different file header, and Pro Tools is like, nope.
The fuck is this?
Can't read it. It's like Pro Tools, it is bitstream audio. Like, what is your problem? I've had it not open certain WAV files before. It's impossible to think that that's okay.
This is interesting to hear because it's like it is the pillar of the industry, is it not?
Well, it was the industry for a long time, and then it was the pillar of the industry that had some other things in it. And for the last few years, it's kind of been like, yeah, but look what this other app can do, and yeah, but look what this other app can do. And Avid kind of, I think, responded to that by kind of getting into more of a cycle of more frequent updates. So all of their versioning changed to dates. So I'm using 2021.10 now. So pretty much every month, at least one comes out. Sometimes there's even a .1 in the middle.
It's also a subscription model now, is it not?
Well, yes, that's available. Okay, so here's actually the detail. So this basically happens. I'm using Pro Tools for things, anything with video in it. If I have to do any editing to the video, I can't do it in Pro Tools because Pro Tools can't handle that. More than one video track? No. Any editing to the one video track? No. And then there's the annoyance of everything has to be exactly the right thing and all this crap. It's sort of a pain, but it's the way I like to work, and it's what I'm used to. And they are updating it, and they're lately a lot of the updates have been visual, but they've been nice, and it's like, kind of, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get too deep into this, but like, okay, so that's the perspective that I'm coming to this from. So a couple of years ago, they did change their model. They've actually had a subscription for a while, but I was on a perpetual license, and I would pay for a year's worth of support and updates. That was $99 a year, right? So I was happily kind of paying that every year. Give me the support updates, keep up, give me the bug fixes, give me the new features, stuff like that. Now, what they really want is for everybody to switch to subscription, because then if you stop paying, you can't use the software anymore. Whereas with the perpetual license, I would just stop getting updates, right? So there's the distinction. So what they did was they changed it. To keep your perpetual license, now it was going to cost you $200 instead of $100
annually.
Annually, right? That's if you're buying annually, right?
Sure.
So that was 1 year of updates. Sorry, because that's for the perpetual license. So 1 year of updates became $200. But if you want to cross grade your perpetual license into a subscription license, which, by the way, means you surrender it. It turns into a subscription and you cannot go back to that perpetual license.
Oh.
Okay? That one, if you're doing that cross grade, we'll do that for you for the $99 that you were paying before. Okay, so we're doing this, like, it's very clear. Like, we're going to just change our prices to convince you to go to subscription. And the subscription comes with some other goodies. There's like a couple of plug-in packs and shit that I utterly don't care about. They're very stupid. It feels,
incentivize you.
It feels like it's aimed at somebody who's coming into it from nothing, honestly. And I'm sure there's some stuff in there that's good, but I have like a whole suite of third-party plugins and stuff that I'm used to using. Yeah. And this stuff, a lot of it, all the stuff that's included feels very beginner to me and it doesn't interest me. It's not going to work its way into my workflow, right? Yeah. So I don't care. So apparently that subscription price of $99 a year, if I transfer my license over, was a 2-year deal. And after that, it was going to go back to the regular price. So the regular price for a Pro Tools subscription is $30 a month or $300 a year. So on November 6th, when my subscription renewed, my price tripled. Oh. Okay. So my price didn't go up by a little bit. My price tripled. Okay. From $99 to $299. And I didn't get a notice about this, right? I just got a credit card bill, right? I got hey, congratulations, your Pro Tools updated.
Great.
Click here to log into your account and see your invoice, which I did. And I saw that it was $2.99. And I said, oh, fuck you guys. I said, I was like, this is not acceptable. So I had to spend a day practically getting on with them, finding someone at support to talk to, and just pleading with them. Like, this is, for one thing, it's predatory, but it's not a good value. Like, you can't possibly think that this is worth triple what I was paying for the dumb goodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I still have this crap I have to deal with. I still can't do all the things that other DAWs like Reaper, for example, can do, which is easily.
Hilariously free.
Well, it's the personal license is $60. I think $200 for a professional license. But the point is, that's a perpetual license too.
I think it's like fully featured, and then you can just click
his
keep
demo
trying.
Doesn't expire.
Yeah, keep demoing.
Because he knows that his software is worth. And it's anyway. Other
even like, Logic is what, $199 forever.
Logic is pretty cheap, and of course there's compatibility with Logic because it's made by Apple, but the point is like it doesn't have almost everything else doesn't have these problems. I don't have to convert files like with Reaper. I can drag any file type in, mix them, match them. I can mix different sample rates into the same session. I mean, I can put video onto an audio track. Like, there's no difference between anything. Anyway, it's just flexible and light, and it doesn't have these quirks. But it's not what I'm used to. And that was really the only thing keeping me on Pro Tools. So I basically have to yell at them for a while, and they're not budging. I think like 2 years ago, maybe I knew that this was like, I'd read the fine print maybe and then forgotten about it, that this was a 2-year deal. But I kind of thought, there's no way this is going to fly. There's no way they're going to convince people to either pay twice as much or move over here, and then in 2 years, you're going to pay 3 times as much. But I guess I sort of got tricked or something. The market did not push them out of this idea. And so all they have now is basically my feedback and saying like, I'm a 20-year Pro Tools
is that not
customer.
Worth something? Right.
And I said to this lady, like, you got to understand, like, this doesn't do things that everything else does. Like, you're still behind. You're still playing catch up, and you think you can triple the price. It's not worth this. It's ridiculous, and it's insulting to me, as I've been a customer for 20 years, and I'm gone. That's it. So eventually, they're not budging. They eventually decide that they're going to give me a $200 credit, and they promise me that next year this will not be the case. So
the credit won't be the case, or.
Right.
Okay.
So
like
next
this
year,
is
the price will be the
thing.
price, and we're not going to do it again. Like, I have in writing that this is not going to happen again. So basically, I have a year to
find a new DAW.
To rip off that Band-Aid. So the past 2 days, I've been sinking my teeth into things. For one thing, really interesting, UAD Luna, which is...
that's Rhett Shull uses that. He's talked about it on his channel.
I will say, from the perspective of a Pro Tools user, it's awesome. It is very clear that they tried to basically remake Pro Tools. All the keyboard shortcuts are the same.
Love it.
The layout is essentially the same, except in a few places where theirs is literally better. Like, it just makes more sense.
Great.
And there's a few extra features that are simplified, instead of like different editing tools that put you in different modes, you just hold the shift key and then all of a sudden it works like this other mode. You know what I mean? And so everything's sort of on the fly. It is music focused. And I think you could do dialogue in it and it would work fine, just like Pro Tools does. But there's absolutely no video in it. And there's a few other restrictions that feel like early Pro Tools. For one thing, it's hardware limited. Luna is free to anyone who has a Thunderbolt UAD interface. It also only Mac right now, only Thunderbolt Mac. And what's weird is it puts an iLok license on your iLok account, which made me think that they had gotten rid of the hardware requirement, but it doesn't boot up unless you have your UAD hardware connected. So I don't know why there's an iLok there. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. Like,
maybe
I get that your
future-proofing
plugins,
thing.
Your plugins are tied into it and everything, but like, I should really be able to turn it on and just export my mix or edit or something. You know what I mean? Like I know I can't use my hardware, but like I should be able to edit on the core audio driver, which every other DAW can. So that's kind of an old-fashioned Pro Tools style limitation from the day when. So I'm wanting that to get fixed. There's also weird things like there's only 8 buses in it. There's unlimited tracks, and they mention right on the page, like unlimited tracks, Every DAW has track limits, and it might be 800 or 500, but there's a limit. This is unlimited tracks, but only 8 buses. So that's weird. That feels like an analog mixing console. I think that's where they got that. I don't know why. Like you're at some point, like you can make your soft, but the buses.
A flaming bus. Oh my God.
Great
That's awesome.
gift. Anyway, so
can you bring that into the window? Like,
okay, you're gonna see it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a bus, but it's a friggin' bus from hell, is what it is. Love it.
We got some side info going on here. So, so Luna seems really awesome. Lots of good features, but it's not going to work for everything that I need because I do sometimes need to work on video and stuff like that. So ultimately, it's not a learning curve. It's going to be easy. And it's really awesome the way it integrates because you can use your hardware for all the no latency stuff. It's just built right in. You don't have to use the separate console mixer, and the way they've set up the headphone mixes and everything is really clever. Plugins are handled really cleverly. Like it will use its power where it's needed to make things low latency, and then it'll actually transfer things back onto your CPU when it needs to get the power for somewhere else, which is really innovative for UAD,
really
which has always been hardware-based before. And it uses third-party plugins as well, which goes without saying. But
I was going to say the tough part with this is learning a new platform, right? Like I know, not so much anymore because I'm very out of practice, but like Adobe products, like I did for work for a long time. I'm very familiar with like the keybinds and all this stuff for like Adobe Illustrator, right? To move to a different vector graphic software is challenging. And even stuff like I use Final Cut Pro 10 occasionally. I'm familiar with that, but moving to Premiere, the Adobe version, the Adobe equivalent product, forget it. Like I cannot even find my way around. And I've tried, I'm like, today's the day. I'm going to like poke through Premiere. Nope, forget it. It's just, it's so intimidating to switch platforms because of that ecosystem thing, right? So
It is. And I honestly think that there's something about the underdogs in these industries that makes them hungrier to be easy to switch to, right? Like, and I think that's where like Reaper gets away with it. Like Reaper is quickly becoming the thing. So basically for 2 days, I've had my head into Reaper because it was quickly clear to me that I might use Luna whenever I'm recording, or especially when I'm recording music. And maybe I'll even mix in it because it's got cool features for that, but we'll see about those 8 buses. But anyway, I sometimes do a lot of submixing. But anyway, the customizability of Reaper, like Reaper is an opaque black box. It's like so weird, like how unuser friendly it is, especially when you turn it on. There's a bunch of shit that by default is set in this insane way. And if you type like Reaper and then name the setting or name the feature into Google, it will just be like 6 pages of people going, why on earth would this be the default? This makes sense to no human ever. So it's just like, so basically I sat down with like a whole series of tutorials, and I let Kenny Joya, who is this great engineer from New York, like essentially take me into Reaper. And a lot of it is very like, you don't have to know anything about computer recording to begin this lesson. So a lot of that's good. I'm just sifting through, but he keeps peppering in this shit like, oh, by the way, set this here and your paths will be this, and like your default recording path. And oh, we can actually make Reaper create a subdirectory for us with every new project. Oh, we can save this memory location right on this keystroke. And the thing is, like, every action in Reaper is assignable to a key or a mouse gesture or something. You can change everything. You can change everything about the way it looks. Everything is changeable, but you got to know what it is. So you got to open up this actions list.
Well, you got to
find it, and then assign the bind. But and everything in the menus I can change. So I'm just as I go through this whole thing, I'm going so slow and I'm just working my way through going, well, I don't like how that works. Hold on. So like today, I had actual work to get done, but I said, this is the moment. I'm going to rebuild my preset. I'm going to rebuild my template in Reaper. And then I went through like, I like the way Pro Tools works in a lot of ways. And I'm going to try to find those places where Reaper, actually there's an easier way to do it. But there's a lot of stuff that I can retain. Like a lot of the editing in Pro Tools is like lightning fast. So I need like, and I can break it down like that in Reaper. So I went in and customized my mouse gestures. So if I'm in the top half of a clip, clicking and holding these modifiers is going to do these things. And if I'm in the bottom half, it's going to do these other things, which is just like Pro Tools multi-tool. Yeah. And I just built that all to be Pro Tools. Changed whatever they had in there. I was like, I don't care. Delete it. I'm rebuilding all of my keystrokes from the ground up. And slowly, so I did something that takes me like about 2 hours, and I spent 5 hours on it today. Oof. Because I was doing it in Reaper, but I was building all of my shit the whole time. And by the end of it, the last 15 minutes of the podcast, I was whipping through, and it was looking a lot more like I'm used to and behaving
also
a lot
now
more
next
like
time
I'm used to.
It'll behave the entire time how you're used to.
And I saved that preset, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that's interesting because now you have to go through and like not only decipher what its default mode is, but figure out if the thing is of value to you, and then how to make it of value to you, right? And
that's why those videos were of value, because they're like, here's what's happening, and here's the keystroke, and I go, oh, I want that to be Command M.
Right.
I know that right away. Oh, I want to, like, most of the stuff in Reaper, I basically want to flip Command and Option because they've got it backwards. And, and I just know that. Like, so basically on everything, I'm just going in, flipping what the modifier does.
Cool.
And then I'm fine, with most of them. So we're doing it. I've done one bit of work in Reaper. And if I get more into video, I'm probably going to learn DaVinci Resolve because I got that.
Yeah, that's one of the other ones that people like because it's is it free? There's a free version or something.
There's a free version, yeah. And then there's like if you want more features or something, I'm not sure. I don't know yet what the features are, but that's another one. When you open that one up, it says, "What are you used to using?" And you can pick like Premiere or Final Cut. Pro Tools was on that list.
Wow.
Or Avid. Because Avid Media Composer. But so then and I don't even know what that does. Like I clicked Pro Tools and it popped up and I was like, okay, this looks like a video editor, but I'm sure there are things in there.
Probably things like
the zoom buttons match what Pro Tools zoom buttons are and stuff like that,
Yeah, I mean, Final Cut, I started learning it on Final Cut Express 4 like a million years ago.
Yeah.
Ended up getting Final Cut Pro 10 somewhere along the way when they introduced it, and it needed a bunch of work early on. Remember that? It's kicking ass now. It's so good. I love it. And it's a perpetual thing. It's $299. It's more expensive than Logic, but it's so easy to use. So anyway.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it sucks that you're faced with this, but it's sort of
I do have a year.
Yeah.
So, like, if I have work that's time sensitive and I'm under a crunch, like, I'm also, like, it came in an okay week. Like, I'm actually not stressed out with tons of deadlines right now. But, if I have a project that is going to take a long time and I actually, like, need to not drag my feet on it, I might just hop back in and do it in Pro Tools. I've got a year.
That's good. That's good.
So, whatever. I was so angry though.
Oh, I bet.
And then when I originally wrote them and then they wrote back and I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to somebody right now because somebody needs to hear my rage.
Yes, you need to hear the tone of my voice.
Oh my God.
Oh goodness. Okay. That's really frustrating. I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
Okay. I hope that wasn't shit content for this podcast. Do you want to talk about pedals, sir?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Hey, fuck it, right? Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Cool.
Let's talk about some pedals.
Pedal Genie is like the Netflix of guitar pedals. Rent any pedal you want for as long as you want for one low monthly price. Shipping is included and there are no late fees or time limits. With over 1,500 pedals to try from nearly 100 different manufacturers, Pedal Genie definitely has the gear you want to try. Subscriptions start with Flex at just $19.95 a month. Try out one pedal at a time for as long as you want. Send it back when you're ready for the next one. For only $39.95 a month, the standard subscription includes shipping. so you could have a different pedal every few days. If one isn't enough for you, Pedal Genie Pro gets you 3 pedals at a time for only $64.95 a month, shipping included. There's a subscription for everyone, and best of all, your first month is free. If you find the pedal of your dreams, the one you just have to keep, Pedal Genie will offer you a buyout option. Prices vary with the length of your membership and the type of pedal, but you'll definitely get an awesome price for the pedal in your hand. So head to pedalgenie.com to fill up your wish list with pedals, and they'll send out your first pedal ASAP. Pedal Genie, all your pedal wishes granted.
The only ones I have left are porn ones. Oh man. Yeah, we might need to have a new tradition sometime soon.
Yeah,
I think the butts are getting thin. What would we do for that? The butts are getting thin.
I think send in your suggestions for Pedal Genie ad read GIF dumps, I guess.
GIF themes, yeah.
Yeah. We may have run the course on butts. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, pedals. I mentioned this on episode 200. So I bought a fuzz pedal and I had added it to my Pedal Genie wish list, and then by the time I had the one I purchased arrive, Pedal Genie sent me the same one like the next week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
classic
dummy move on me. So what I did was over on the YouTubes on the channel here is a live stream of that fuzz pedal, the Keeley Fuzz Bender, with the Chase Bliss Audio Dark World, which is what Pedal Genie sent me after that. So the ad thing for this week is the Dark World, and it's a reverb. And it's very cool. It's a double-sided thing. I already sent it back, so I don't have it here. But it's a double-sided reverb. I think it's among Chase Bliss's easiest to use pedals.
Oh, good.
So
so they have a definite format for their stuff, right? Like,
totally.
So when you say double-sided, like, do they have any pedals that aren't? Because I think that they do.
Well, it's two discrete reverb circuits, right? They're different sounds. Okay. And it's not like you can both set them both to plate, like, or both to spring or whatever. They're very different. And actually, fun thing about this pedal, the world side on the right was designed by Keeley, and the dark side on the left was designed by Cooper Effects. So we sort of had a double Keeley demo this week. And what's cool is you can run one side into the other, or run them both in parallel. And then they each have kind of their own parameters. So if you scroll back up there, you can kind of see the leftmost knobs apply to the leftmost delay, or is it reverb, and same for the right. Yeah. And it's got the toggle switches for like reverb type and stuff. So the right side, I think it's the world side, is the far more traditional guitar reverb kind of sounds. Spring, plate, hall. It's got pre-delay on it. And it's big cavernous sounds. Great sounds, very, very quiet, very low noise floor.
Yeah.
Which I know is a thing with reverbs sometimes. Then the other side, the left-hand side, the dark side is is far spookier. It's very it's way more effecty, right? There's like a shimmer type thing. There's some weird modulation stuff. It can do some tremolo type stuff. Very strange. Yeah. Got some weirdo things in there. And then it'll hold a couple of presets, and it's got MIDI and Expression CV control. And then, of course, all the dip switches on the back, which I never really get into with Chase Bliss because I feel like I don't want to break it.
What those are typically doing is they're assigning certain parameters to the ramp control. So you can't really do anything with that unless, well, I guess you can use it with an Expression or MIDI. But then you can also, I think if you click the buttons in a certain way, it'll cause a ramp to happen over a certain amount of time.
Something like that, yeah. So
that's what this is. It's a secondary function on this decay knob, has the ramp. So you could set like the time that it will auto ramp. So essentially you're if I understand it correctly, and the one time I had a Chase Bliss pedal, I couldn't even make it make sound. So don't, it was a long time ago. I've been doing a podcast for a lot longer than I was when I was that age.
I think some of their pedals are easier to use than others.
Okay. Well, it was a tremolo. It should have been easy. But anyway, you're also essentially creating two endpoints for certain parameters, and so you were including some of the parameters in the shift, and then when you do that action or when you move your expression, it's going to switch between those endpoints on the parameters you choose.
Yeah, which could be a range of only 10% or something,
right.
or it could be 0 to 100. Yeah. So anyway, it was a cool pedal. I see it on a lot of boards. I get why people like it. It's a good one. It's about $350. The demo is up on the channel, like I said, and I use the fuzz too, which is really cool. Eric says you can't beat the footprint. Totally true, right? It's a great size, although it is heavy as fuck. Those Chase Bliss pedals are heavy. Yeah. Not like that's a real thing that guitarists are concerned with, but it's heavy. Anyway, do you have the demo? You can say no.
I didn't do anything with it. Did you make it in a format that I can just play? Because I didn't even look.
No, I did. It's all individual tracks.
Okay. I can play an individual track if you want.
I don't know. Do you want to?
Yeah, let me see. What do you got in here?
Do you like
Dropbox, tone control?
I don't know. One of the guitar tracks, obviously. I don't know which is which. They're just like lead, left, right.
Dark World and Fuzzbender. Okay, so
not the bass one, I guess.
Backing left.
Sure.
Or the lead.
Do the lead, actually.
Okay, I've got a lead left and right. Are there two leads or are they just two sides?
There are two leads because I used each side of the reverb. Okay. Just to get weird, yeah.
I wonder if I can pull them both in. Let me see. Oh, wait, pull them as separate files.
Oh.
Oh well, I'll play this. Hold on, let me just. So here's
and
the
I
left.
also okay, go ahead. Yeah, pretty simple sound on that one.
Yeah, you're right, Eric. I should fix it in post and put this in. This is stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna like overwrite a bunch of this with the actual demo once I put it together because that was dumb of me to not look. But I also didn't like. I was like right up to the minute when I had to run out the door.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Eric's asking if that's the Keeley too. I assume you mean the fuzz. Yeah, that's the Keeley Fuzzbender, which is a great pedal. I didn't mention this, but I grabbed that sort of an impulse buy for my birthday. I was like, I've been playing the Fat Guy Little Coat a lot more, and from 37 Effects, and I was like, I'm finally turning the corner into fuzz, which I know is going to make a lot of people very happy. But
and a few people very mad.
Yeah. But I was like, I wonder if I can dip my toe into fuzz for not too much money and see what's out there. So the Fuzzbender is, as the name implies, kind of a tone bender style fuzz. And it's got a handful of features that I thought were very interesting and used. I got it for under $100. So
damn.
I was like, this, even if it sucks, I bet I can sell it for a $5 profit. Yeah. So it was, it's a good one. And it's got a bias control, so you can rebias the transistors and stuff. And it sounds like insane when you do that. It's got plus or minus 20 dB on the EQ, active EQ, and just loads of fuzz and loads of gain. It's a good one. I like it a lot.
I should find that.
I mean, I got it for $95. I think, yeah, there it is. I think, look at where those jacks are. Isn't that weird?
Keeley don't give a fuck.
But yeah, it's cool. So when the bias is turned all the way counterclockwise, it's kind of in its neutral position, kind of where it is voiced the fullest, and then you can bias it up. So it sounds like really gated.
It starts to like lose its shit. Yeah.
It loses its all this shit. Yeah. So
its whole bias gets into the wrong position is what I understand.
So anyway, it's a good one. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I have. Gnarly. Chase Bliss Audio Dark World Reverb is $349. If you like it, go get it.
Fantastic. I have present tense. This bad boy.
Yeah.
From Alexander
Super Ball.
Effects, the Super Ball Kinetic Modulator. Look at this motherfucker.
You remember Super Balls? Oh.
Yep.
God, what a time. That is a thing that I did not know I haven't thought about in a very long time until right now.
You didn't know you hadn't thought about it?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so here's what's up.
What is happening?
You know.
What is that noise? Uh-oh.
Oh, it's what happens if you don't plug a guitar in, but you turn a guitar amp on a mic preamp.
Now
there.
We know.
Yeah. Oh.
Doing all the hard work here for you guys so you don't have to.
Wait. No. I tested this. You remember all the troubles I've been having with noise while we're doing the podcast? I tested this before we started, and it did not make all this noise.
It also sounds incredibly loud. Like your guitar sounds very loud. From what little...
Yeah, it's kind of loud. It's because I have this other thing turned on. Oh my God.
Now we know.
Okay, so I'm only allowed, I have like 18 inputs in the studio, and I'm only allowed to use 2 for the stream because that's the only thing that will be heard. Okay, I was like so confused.
There we are.
I couldn't, so I had like a ton of gain, and then I was feeding that into a guitar amp. So it's like I had it under a distortion pedal.
Okay, modulate everything.
Yeah, I don't know, Derek. Do you want to actually try to figure out how this thing works? Because I got to be honest, I will tell you that if I just turn this on, like weird stuff happens. The lights go crazy. They blink and they do all kinds of weird things. I can't figure out what I'm doing except when I turn it on and off.
You've had other pedals from these guys, from Alexander, and have found them intuitive, I remember.
Yeah. I thought the other ones definitely made sense. So there's sort of a red side and a blue side.
Yeah.
LFO and
sequence, probably.
Yeah, like a sequencer, and then there's low and high range. But
and
I
then
can't figure out how to change those.
Is it that button?
Well, if I turn it on.
Red...
So I've got the mix. I've got everything kind of centered. Let me just center everything now. Do you get it?
Oh my God.
It starts to sort of like slow down, but then it like pitches up and then it pitches back down again. Okay. Right now it's in the low and high light is green, and then the control light, which says LFO or sequencer, is off. Oh, I just found another button.
There's
Super
a
Ball
button
in the middle, right above the R.
It's a button. Yeah, all the Alexander.
Okay, so now I'm in high mode. I think the graphics of the guy throwing the ball around, it bounces around the room. I think that's what's happening inside this pedal.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, no, I switched it again. So now there's a green light that's blinking in rhythm. I think I'm in LFO mode now. Whoop.
So turn some knobs. Turn that filter knob.
Okay, filter. Let's see. Let's turn filter up. Ooh, the color totally changed. Now it's like purple and it's blinking different. Oh, I see. So in LFO mode. Oh yeah, no, this makes sense to me.
See?
Okay, so yeah, see, the LED is blue, so it's LFO, the control LED, and so now I'm changing the waveform, and so it's pink, and I can see like the top light's oscillating pink, and it's like telling me kind of sort of what shape. Now it's blue. Okay. Turn it a little more, and it turns green. Sort of slower. Let's turn that up. Or that's the mix. Let's turn the repeat up. Get more. Okay, well I guess that would be a depth in this mode. And
Uber
rate.
flexible.
We'll turn the rate up.
Uber flexible LFO, dedicated time sequencing, and resonant low pass filter.
Okay, red mode.
It says it's a digital delay, bounciest digital delay oscillations you can imagine. Huh.
So I put it into the red mode now. Sync. So this knob should be sync now.
So now you've got a bypass and a tap tempo. If you hold the tap tempo, what happens? Like while you're sustaining something.
All right, let me try.
Anything? It's because it says tap and then bounce in parentheses.
I can't tell that anything different is happening.
I know.
All right, let's go back to low.
I needed a manual.
Yeah,
all right,
I still can't quite tell what I'm doing. There's also another jack. There's this red jack on the side.
Yeah, it's for MIDI.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking at, all right, so 4 built-in presets gives you quadruple the tones. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Multi-wave low frequency
it's like
oscillator.
playing on its own now.
Okay, the select button. Tap this button to assign the knobs to control pedal functions. The select button allows 4 knobs to do quadruple duty for full hands-on control. Hold the button down to access the 4 global parameters for even more real-time control, which must be the ones in parentheses, such as ramp,
Okay,
level.
ramp and level, dry circulation. What does that mean?
The
So
sequencer.
if I hold it down and turn up the ramp speed.
Oh, user manual. Here we go.
I can't tell if I'm changing it. This is so weird. Anyway, I mean, obviously, like, you can do weird things. I want to get it to do that thing where it like.
Eric says it sounds like a science major's thesis. Oh, God.
I'm going to spin them while I'm playing here. A filter? It's very wah-y.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. A repeat knob? The mix knob is the only thing I consistently can tell that I'm doing something with. You know, if I dime that.
Oh, hang on. Okay, so. Okay, the easiest way to dial in the Super Bowl is to first turn off the LFO and sequencer.
Okay.
Okay, so tap the center button until the lower LED is blue.
So it's blue? Okay, it's blue.
And then turn the rate, depth, and sync knobs fully counterclockwise.
Wait. Okay.
And then tap the button again until the lower LED is red.
Yeah.
And turn the rate and sync knobs counterclockwise again, it says. They're already down.
But if I wiggle them and turn them down again.
So now it's basically instructing how to turn off the LFO.
So now everything's off.
Yeah, you can hear it in the white noise.
Yeah. So now I'm just going to 12 o'clock everything again. Now that I'm back into green mode. Okay, yeah. So now it's behaving normally.
Okay, so tap the select button until the upper LED is green.
That's where I am.
Okay, this lets you adjust the lower bounds of the control ranges. Turn the knobs until you hear the tone you want.
Faster. Oh, the time knob works differently, so I need to turn it counterclockwise to go faster. It'll self-oscillate, so let's crank that back. The repeats knob. And the filter knob is behaving normally. Okay.
Crazy.
Okay. All right, we're good.
Okay. Next, tap the select button until the upper LED is red.
Okay, red.
Which sets the pedal to adjust the high range of the delay effect. I don't know what that means, but...
Let's assume I've done that.
When you are satisfied, tap the select button once more until the lower LED is blue, which turns you back to LFO adjust mode.
And now I can pull that depth back. So now...
Jesus. I mean, that's just one section of this for the oscillator.
There we go. Basically, if you just turn the knobs some and then push that button and then turn the knob some and push that button and then repeat that 2 or 3 more times, it will start doing things like this.
Oh my God. What a weird thing.
It sounds like it's hitting me over the head with a metal pipe. Not Eric's cup of tea, I think. Well, that's another one this is another like sort of fun thing that I personally I would only ever hope to find like one possible use for that in my entire life.
Yeah.
But some people just gravitate to this kind of thing. Like I know a guy who totally gets the Rainbow Machine, for example, which I can't understand using for music at all. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. But he's like, oh yeah, no, that thing like this is that thing's great.
All you need to do is this, and makes amazing music with it. Yeah,
yeah, like and I'm thinking, but if this setting is what makes it sound like music, why does it have all these other settings?
Why does it have other non-musical settings?
And it must be that I don't understand it. So
yeah, that's my criteria for a lot of pedals is if it can sound musical and usable across its range versus not.
Yeah, and I think in this case, it's definitely a lot of something I don't totally understand about the way it works. Like when you took me through the like, okay, here's how you set the low range and then the high range, I'm like, okay, now I see. And then after that, I'm probably going to be setting like a ramping speed. And if I really know what's going on in there,
right,
I can probably work it out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think we would go long, despite having literally nothing to talk about. But here we are.
I know. I shouldn't have blabbed about Pro Tools for
No,
ages.
it's okay.
Anyway.
Should we... Hey, thanks, Pedal Genie.
Hey, thanks. Still didn't talk about anything.
Should we suggest some things for the week and get out of here?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. My suggestion of the week, which I've been chatting a little bit about in Discord, is the Driftwood Guitars YouTube channel. Actually, do me a favor, Justin.
Yep.
Let's pull up the Driftwood Guitars website here on the screen for folks. Driftwood Guitars makes some of the most insane acoustic guitars you've ever seen in your life. Fully hand-built, start to finish, by like one guy. His name is Chris. I found him through... Yes. I sent you a link.
Now I know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Absolutely mind-bogglingly beautiful instruments. I think it's like him and one guy maybe building guitars down in Florida. I found him through Rhett Shull's channel where he branched into building electrics for the first time, which is really an interesting thing to compare, like an acoustic guitar builder building an electric guitar for the first time. It's very funny to watch. So anyway, Chris at Driftwood has been doing some YouTube stuff lately, and he's been building guitars, just like walking through how he builds guitars on his channel. And it's really awesome to watch because it's kind of a mix between This Old House, like some woodworking shows, and guitar stuff. And he's talking a lot about carpentry and woodworking, but also in the interest of music and how it sounds and how it plays and how it looks and all that. Yes, Eric, $15,000 is correct. They are crushingly expensive, but they are works of art. They are truly amazing pieces of construction. And I'm not saying it's worth it or not worth it, but like, holy cats, look at this thing. Look at them. They're gorgeous.
Look at the corner cuts and the bevels.
And so I've seen that lately, and the inlays, and oh my God. So he's doing all of this by hand in a little shop in Florida. So he's got this great series I've been watching where he's making a guitar out of a 3,000-year-old piece of Sitka spruce.
Wow.
It's like this piece of petrified wood that one of his wood suppliers found, and he made the soundboard out of it. And I've learned a ton about acoustic guitar construction from watching the channel. Because if you think about it, how is the thing not just collapsing in on itself all the time, you know?
That's what the bracing's for, Derek.
Right. But when you look at the bracing and the way that he's doing it, it's so thin, but it adds so much strength. It's very, very cool to watch. So I wanted to recommend the channel, partly for the build stuff, but also because now he started this new series where he's taking acoustic guitars from well-known manufacturers and deconstructing them and talking about what they're like and how well they're made and what you should be paying for versus not paying for. So the new Gibson acoustics that came out, I don't know, a month or two ago that have the sound port thing. Are you guys
seeing this shit? Like these wood inlays and how they leap off the fretboard? All right, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's incredible. You have every right to be blown away. So, look at that.
What the fuck?
He started a new series. Also, he's making a guitar out of the stage from Woodstock.
What a butthole.
So this 3,000-year-old guitar series is awesome because it's like 25 parts and they're each like 20 to 30 minutes. It's great. So anyway, he's cutting guitars in half, right? He's separating the back from the front, like the back from the top, cutting right down the sides from manufacturers like Martin, Taylor, Gibson, PRS. And he's like opening them up and being like, look at this glue squeeze out.
Cheap guitars, $5,000 guitars, just cutting those motherfuckers right.
Well, that's the thing. Like he's getting, so the Gibson one was it's a great video because he's like, Gibson wants you to pay $1,300 for this guitar. And he's like, look at all this glue squeeze out, right? That's worth more than $1,300. You should be like, all this says is like, I forget how he puts it, but he's like, yeah, it kind of doesn't matter sonically, but like you should care that Gibson doesn't care.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Look at that thing. It's beautiful.
Damn it.
So anyway, he's got a really cool channel going. Seems like a great guy. And they're just sort of kicking off the YouTube thing. So man, it's amazing to watch. And yeah, hit the website, check out some of the work he's doing. I would love to talk with him on the show sometime. So maybe we'll get lucky and organize that sometime in the future, maybe next year.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at that carve, the flame maple inside the exceptional. And they're crazy expensive.
Yeah. So it's too bad they sound like shit that he made it look this good. That it's too bad that he can't
look,
also
this one's got like a tummy cut thing. See it?
Yeah, on this inside edge. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That's a joke, by the way.
I know,
they don't sound like shit.
They sound glorious. They sound so amazing. But yeah, check out the YouTube channel. I love the series where he's cutting these guitars in half to show the insides, and he's like, this is great construction, and this is
perspective artwork on the bicycle with the license plate. What the fuck?
This guy can go to hell.
Jesus. If he's on the show, I'm going to tell him to his face.
You can get fucked, sir.
What the fuck are you doing?
Who do you think you are? Anyway. Okay. That's my suggestion of the week.
All right. I should have a suggestion of the week. I don't know. Read the fine print on your... I don't know. Who cares? I probably would have done the same thing. I don't know. I don't know what my fine print is. You know what? Actually, here's my fine print.
Should we rename this section the fine print? Is that what we're doing?
Is that what I just said? I didn't even realize that. There's the fine print for this episode. My brain's mush right now because I am not used to having to learn things on a multi-hour basis. Like for years and years, when I've had to learn something, it's been like, oh, hold on, I'm going to figure out how to do that. And an hour later, I know how to do it, and I'm moving on with my life. I was like in study mode here for a minute, and it's not going away for a little while. And so I feel mushy upstairs. So that's what's up.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks to the patrons. Thanks to you, the listeners and viewers, for watching. If you want to join us in our Discord channel where we talk about all kinds of stuff and you see pics and stuff like this that we share all the time, it's discord.io/tone control. And you can find our Patreon at patreon.com/the tone control to become a supporter. For as little as $1 a month, we'll send you a gracious thank you. And we usually will probably make fun of your name if we start to feel like we're good friends. And then... For
only if and only then.
Well, I'm not just going to throw. Yeah, I see you, Eric. It's not. Sorry, I noticed it, and then I in my head said it,
and then you noticed
and imagined what it would sound like.
Okay.
Anyway, for as little as $2 a month, you can be a supporter plus, which gets you access to the super secret part of our Discord where we record this podcast and you can listen in live and heckle us like Eric does. And that's the story. And you have the people this fortnight who have my ever loving, undying thanks are Carson Ricketts, Nick Greenwood, Timmy S, Matthew Fenselau, Riesenwolf, Jamie Evans, Jeffrey Wright, Doug King, Doug Gann, Righteous Ryan Johnson, Steve Huffman, Jonas Sabatini. So hold on, it scrolled away.
Oh, right.
Dolly Potton. Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove, OG friend of the show, Brian Rizzi, Doug Christ of 37 Effects, Sean Wright of Lollygagger Effects, and Brian Gower and Kyle McIntyre of the Tone Jerks podcast. Thank you so much. And Eric, by the way, right before I get to that part, we always get this message in Discord that just says Justin in all caps. So I'll look at whatever the fuck he changed his name to.
So we're talking about Dolly Parton in the chat now, and I just want to mention, have you guys heard of the Dolly Parton hosier thing that's been going around?
No.
It's kind of a meme. The joke is that if you take a Dolly Parton record and slow it down, like you choose the other speed on your turntable, it sounds like hosier. And there's some video on Instagram or somebody doing it, and it's very real. It sounds just like... It's hilarious. Oh, it's so good. Anyway,
Dolly Parton sends my daughter books.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. She has there's some kind of a thing that she puts together.
Yeah, she has like a library thing she does.
Yeah, like so you sign up, she'll send your kiddo reading material. They're good books.
It's we were just talking about this in the chat. There's a great podcast called Dolly Parton's America that I recommend highly listening to. It's only like a 9 or 10 part series. It's from a little while ago, but it's great. Dolly Parton we don't deserve Dolly Parton.
I was going to try to make that into a Batman quote, but I realize now that I am far too mushy. So, yeah.
Well, shall we?
That's going to have to do it. Yeah, that's it. And I also forgot to start the music again, and I don't care because I'm going to change the music in post anyway. I delete the track for this part. Actually, I know a bunch more about editing in Reaper now because I've been doing the podcast in Reaper for a while now because it's video combined. But now I know a bunch more about how to edit in it properly. And so I am not going to be slow to a crawl anytime I have to make a slice in an audio file. And I just changed all the fucking shit so it all works the way I want it to.
Changed all the fucking shit.
Changed all that shit. All right.
We went almost 2 hours this time. We got to be better about that. See you next time, everybody.
See you next time. I promise it'll be better and shorter.
That's what she said.
Okay.